Welcome to the European Association for Higher Education Advancement's YouTube and podcast channel. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into how technology is shaking up the world of higher education.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time to be talking about this.
You got that right. To guide us on this journey, you brought an article, right?
Yes.
From the EAHEA website.
Exactly.
And it's called Role of Technology in the Classroom.
It is. It's a great overview of the trends and challenges facing educators today.
Okay, so imagine this. You walk into a classroom and lectures are kind of taking a back seat and the students are in the driver's seat of their own learning with the help of technology. Pretty cool, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, the article really emphasizes this shift from teacher-centric to student-centric learning. It's not about the professors just delivering information anymore. It's about empowering students to become active participants in their education.
Okay, so less sage on the stage and more guide on the side. I like that. But what does that actually look like? I mean, does this mean no more lectures at all?
Not necessarily, no. It's more about using technology to make lectures more engaging and interactive. Think flipped classrooms where students watch video lectures beforehand and then use class time for, discussions and problem-solving activities.
So technology becomes a tool to enhance the learning experience rather than replace it.
Precisely. And it opens up a whole world of possibilities, Take personalized learning platforms, for example. They use algorithms to tailor content to individual student needs, allowing them to learn at their own pace and focus on areas where they need more support.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal tutor for every student.
Exactly. And then there are, adaptive learning software programs. These constantly adjust the difficulty level based on student performance, providing real-time feedback and ensuring they're always challenged but not overwhelmed.
Wow. So it sounds like technology is really starting to personalize education in a way that was never possible before. But let's get specific. Like, what are some of the tools and resources that are actually making this shift to student-centric learning a reality?
Well, the article mentions Wikispaces as a great example of a collaborative learning platform.
Yeah.
Imagine a group project where everyone can contribute to a shared document, brainstorm ideas, and give each other feedback all in real time.
That's so much more dynamic than emailing a document back and forth, for sure. I can definitely see how that would really foster collaboration and communication skills, too.
Absolutely. And it allows students to learn from each other, which is incredibly valuable. It's not just about the professor being the sole source of knowledge anymore. It's about creating a community of learners.
Yeah. And it's not just about collaboration either, right? You mentioned video conferencing earlier. How is that transforming the learning experience?
Well, imagine connecting with experts from all over the world, attending virtual workshops, or even having, guest lecturers from different countries. These are all opportunities that simply weren't available before.
It's true. That's incredible. It really expands the boundaries of the classroom, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And exposes students to such a wider range of perspectives and experiences.
Exactly. And it allows universities to offer courses and programs that might not be feasible otherwise. They can bring in specialists from anywhere in the world without the logistical challenges of travel and accommodation.
Yeah, for sure. So technology is not only changing what students learn, but also how they learn and even who they learn from. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It truly is. And it's only the beginning. The article kind of hints at even more exciting developments on the horizon, like things like virtual reality and augmented reality being used to create these immersive learning experiences.
That's something I can't wait to see.
Right.
It really does sound like technology is opening up a whole new universe of possibilities for higher education.
It definitely is. But, with all this talk about this amazing potential of technology, it's important to remember that it's not a magic bullet.
Right.
It's a tool. And like any tool, it needs to be used thoughtfully and strategically.
That's a really great point. We can't just throw technology into classrooms and expect miracles to happen. We need to think carefully about how to integrate it effectively to really enhance student learning.
Absolutely. And that's where the role of educators becomes even more crucial. They need to be trained and supported in using these tools effectively and in designing, really engaging and pedagogically sound learning experiences.
So it's not just about adopting technology, it's about adapting our teaching practices to really leverage its full potential.
Exactly. And it's about being mindful of the, potential challenges and pitfalls as well. For example, we need to ensure that all students have equitable access to technology and that we're not inadvertently creating a digital divide.
That's such a crucial point, yeah.
Hmm.
We can't let technology exacerbate existing inequalities. We need to make sure that it's a force for inclusion and empowerment for all students.
Absolutely. And we need to be aware of the potential for distraction and information overload. Technology can be a powerful tool for learning, but it can also be a source of distraction if it's not used wisely.
So it's about finding that balance, right? Harnessing the power of technology while mitigating the potential risks.
Precisely. And that requires, careful planning, ongoing evaluation, and a willingness to adapt and evolve as technology continues to change.
It sounds like navigating the world of technology in higher education is a complex but incredibly exciting journey.
It certainly is, and it's a journey that we're all on together as, educators, students, and members of this global community.
Speaking of the global community, the article doesn't really touch on the idea of using technology to connect with students and educators from different cultures and backgrounds that much.
Yeah, you're right. That's an area where technology has just, immense potential.
Yeah.
Think about like virtual exchange programs where students from different countries can collaborate on projects, share their perspectives, and learn from each other's experiences.
Oh, that's such a powerful way to promote, intercultural understanding and global citizenship. It's like taking study abroad to a whole new level.
Exactly. And it can help students develop the skills and mindsets they need to thrive in, an increasingly interconnected world.
This is all so fascinating, but I'm curious about the impact of all of this on student outcomes. Does using technology actually lead to better learning?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer, as with most things in education, is it's complex. The research on the impact of technology on student learning is still evolving, and the results are mixed.
So it's not a simple case of technology equals better grades.
Not at all. It depends on how the technology is used, the context in which it's implemented, and a host of other factors.
So what does the research tell us so far? Are there any clear takeaways?
Well, there's growing evidence that when technology is integrated thoughtfully and strategically, it can have a positive impact on student engagement, motivation, and even academic achievement.
That's encouraging. Can you give us some, specific examples?
Sure. Studies have shown that using, simulations and games in the classroom can help students develop problem-solving skills and critical thinking abilities. And online learning platforms can provide, personalized feedback and support that can help students master these, more difficult concepts.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but how it's used to really support these effective teaching and learning practices.
Exactly. Technology is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used effectively or ineffectively. The key is to use it in ways that align with sound pedagogical principles.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But it also sounds like there's still a lot we don't know about the long-term impact of technology on education.
Absolutely. We're still in the early stages of this, technological revolution in education. And there's much more research to be done. We need to continue to explore, the potential benefits and challenges of technology and to develop best practices for its effective integration.
That's a great point. This is an ongoing conversation, and it's important for educators, policymakers, and researchers to work together to shape the future of technology in education.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty energized after this discussion.
Me too.
It's incredible to think about all the possibilities that technology is opening up for higher education.
It is. It truly is.
It really is.
And it's a time of tremendous innovation and transformation, and it's up to all of us to ensure that technology is used to create a more equitable, engaging, and effective learning experience for all students.
Mm-hmm. So as we move on to the next part of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder. What excites you most about the potential of technology in education, and what concerns you?
Those are great questions to reflect on. It's a conversation we all need to be having as technology continues to, reshape the educational landscape.
It's like we're standing on the edge of this whole new world of learning,
It really is. And it's up to us to kind of chart the course and make sure that it's a world that benefits everyone.
Yeah, that's a powerful thought, for sure. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've talked a lot about the potential upsides of technology, but the article also hints at some challenges, right?
Right.
What are some of the things we need to be maybe a little cautious about?
Well, one of the, biggest concerns is this digital divide the gap
Right.
between those who have access to technology and those who don't. We need to make sure that all students, regardless of their background or socioeconomic status, have the opportunity to benefit from these technological advancements.
Yeah, that's so important. It would be a real tragedy if technology ended up, widening the gap between the haves and the have-nots in education.
Exactly. And it's not just about access to devices, it's also about digital literacy.
Right.
Students need to know how to use technology effectively, critically, and ethically. We need to equip them with the skills they need to really navigate this digital world safely and responsibly.
I hadn't even thought about that aspect of it. It's like we're not just teaching students subject matter anymore. We're also teaching them how to be like responsible digital citizens.
Absolutely. And that's a huge responsibility for educators. We need to be prepared to address, issues like online safety, privacy, cyberbullying, the spread of misinformation.
It sounds like a whole new curriculum is kind of emerging alongside these technological advancements.
It is. It is. And it's something that all educators need to be aware of and prepared to address.
Okay, so we've got the digital divide and digital literacy to consider. What other, potential downsides are there? I remember reading something about technology actually hindering learning if it's not used properly.
Yeah, that's a valid concern. Technology can be a powerful distraction if it's not used intentionally. Think about all the notifications, social media updates, online games that are constantly vying for students' attention.
It's true. It's hard enough to focus in a classroom without having your phone buzzing every 5 minutes.
Exactly. And that's where educators need to step in and set clear expectations and guidelines for technology use in the classroom. It's about creating a learning environment where technology enhances learning rather than detracts from it.
So it's all about balance and intentionality. We need to be mindful of the potential distractions and kind of take steps to mitigate them.
Precisely. And we also need to be aware of the potential for technology to create a culture of passive consumption. It's so easy to just get caught up in this endless stream of information and entertainment that's available online. But we need to make sure that students are not just passively consuming information, but, actively engaging with it, critically analyzing it, and making connections to their own lives and experiences.
That's a crucial point. It's not just about access to information anymore. It's about what students do with that information. How do they process it? How do they evaluate its credibility? How do they apply it to, real-world problems?
Exactly. And that's where the role of the educator becomes even more important. We need to guide students in developing these critical thinking and information literacy skills.
So it's not just about teaching students how to use technology. It's about teaching them how to think critically about the information they're consuming through technology.
Precisely. And it's about helping them develop the skills they need to be discerning consumers of information, to separate fact from fiction, and to form their own, informed opinions.
It sounds like technology is not just changing the way we teach and learn, it's also changing like the skills and competencies the students need to succeed in the 21st century.
Absolutely. And it's up to educators to kind of, keep pace with these changes and to prepare students for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the challenges and potential pitfalls, but let's kind of shift gears for a moment and talk about the future. Like, how do you see technology shaping the future of higher education?
That's a fascinating question. The article kind of hints at some really exciting possibilities. We're already seeing the rise of, online learning, these blended learning models, micro-credentials. And I think those trends are only going to accelerate in the coming years.
So you're saying that like the traditional model of higher education, going to a physical campus for 4 years to get a degree is becoming less relevant.
I wouldn't say it's becoming irrelevant, but it's certainly evolving.
Okay.
Technology is making education more accessible, more flexible, and more personalized, and I think that's a good thing.
I can see how that would be really appealing to students who are, juggling work, family, and other commitments. It gives them the opportunity to kind of learn on their own terms and at their own pace.
Exactly. And it opens up educational opportunities to people who might not have been able to access them before.
Right. Think about students in rural communities, students with disabilities, or working adults who can't afford to take time off to attend classes on campus.
That's a really powerful point. Yeah. Technology has the potential to really democratize education and make it truly accessible to everyone.
It does. And it can also help us tailor education to the needs of individual learners.
Right.
With the help of technology, we can create learning experiences that are customized to students' interests, learning styles, and career goals.
That's incredible. It's like having a personal education plan for every student.
Exactly. And it's something that's becoming increasingly feasible with the advances in, artificial intelligence and machine learning.
So it sounds like technology is not just changing the way we learn, it's also changing what we learn and how we assess learning. Like, are we going to see a shift away from traditional, exams and grades?
That's a good question. I think we're already seeing a move toward more authentic and performance-based assessments.
Instead of just memorizing facts and regurgitating them on a test, students are being asked to, apply their knowledge and skills to solve real-world problems.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's about moving away from, rote learning and towards deeper understanding and application.
Exactly. And technology can play a role in facilitating those types of assessments. For example, we can use simulations and, virtual environments to create these really realistic scenarios where students can demonstrate their skills and problem-solving abilities.
It sounds like the possibilities are really endless. But with all these changes happening so rapidly, it's kind of hard to know what the future holds, for sure.
It is, but that's also what makes it so exciting. We're in the midst of this really profound transformation in education, and it's up to all of us to kind of shape its direction and ensure that it benefits all learners.
Well said. It's both an exciting and a daunting time to be involved in education.
I couldn't agree more. But I'm optimistic about the future. I think technology has the potential to really transform education for the better and to create a world where everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential.
That's a vision worth striving for.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've really explored this whole idea of technology's role in the classroom, moving from that teacher-focused model to a more student-centered one.
Yeah, and we've talked about, the potential benefits like personalized learning and global collaboration. But we also, touched on some of the challenges, like the digital divide and that potential for distraction.
Right. It's not just a simple tech is good or tech is bad situation. It's definitely more nuanced than that.
Absolutely. It's about using technology thoughtfully and strategically to create learning experiences that are, engaging and effective and equitable for all students.
And that brings us back to you, our listener. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, but this is really where it gets interesting.
It does.
Because the future of education is being shaped right now.
Mm-hmm.
And your voice really matters. What excites you the most about the potential of technology in education? Maybe it's the idea of personalized learning paths or virtual reality field trips. Share your thoughts. Share your excitement.
Yeah, and what concerns you? Are you worried about the digital divide? Or the potential for technology to become a distraction, rather than a tool for learning? These are all really important questions to be thinking about.
We encourage you to explore these questions further and share your insights with the European Association for Higher Education Advancement.
Yeah, you can find them on YouTube and social media. Join the conversation and help shape the future of learning.
Please don't forget to follow the European Association for Higher Education Advancement on YouTube and social media.